Welcome back to Civilian Tactical, the Armory Edition, because in my hand I hold a civilian legal grenade launcher. And today we're going to be testing the 4 different types of grenades that this thing fires, including this 4th one with the silver dot on the top, which is not, I repeat, is not allowed for any tactical uses. You'll see why in just a minute. So how is this thing legal? How does it fire? And is it even deadly? Well, to load it, you grab your grenade launcher, you press this button, which is going to help you crack that barrel open. You're going to take your grenade round and load it into the chamber and simply slap it closed. Now you still have to cock it and turn it from safe to fire. And just like that, you're ready to go. You can see this is just a smoke grenade, but I promise the last 3 go boom, and they go boom big. So how is this thing even legal? Well, historically, 37mm launchers were used for emergency signaling. Think flares for maritime use or emergency use. And then, true to American ingenuity, somebody thought, what if we turn this signaling device into a grenade launcher? And thus, the 37mm grenade launcher was born. Since then, 37mm launchers have gained popularity, and they're allowed because technically they don't have any rifling inside, and their projectiles don't sling metal shrapnel. But these things are still incredibly powerful. This is the TAC 79 launcher specifically, and we're gonna take a look at this Flashbang round, which I think packs quite a punch. All of this came from Exotic Ammo, so a massive thank you to them for making this possible. After our Flashbang round, we're gonna try something called the Detonator round, but let's see what this one does. Again, we're gonna cock that, and let's just launch it downrange. Whoa! That's quite a bright flash. I want to see if I can get you guys down there to witness it. It was a bit hard to see on regular speed, so I tried another round with that slow-mo, and you can see a little bit more of the way that flash illuminates the surroundings for a split second. Those things are truly, truly bright. But what's the actual range of these civilian legal grenade launchers? Well, we're gonna find out, and there's 2 different ways we're gonna launch. For one, we'll select the best angle we can to get maximum distance, and for another, I just wanna try shooting straight up for signaling purposes rather than something like riot control. For this, we're gonna use 2 more Flashbang rounds. I promise those detonator rounds are going to come in just a second for our next test. All right, range test, 3, 2, 1, and let's fire. Oh wow, that goes a lot farther. But it detonated before it hit the ground. We got about 100 yards that way, but it did detonate about 5 feet off the ground. So either load with a little bit more of a powder charge to get the extra distance, or angle down slightly more so that it hits the ground before you go. But what about straight up? Hopefully this doesn't come right down on my head before it blows up. All right, let's fire this thing up. 3, 2, 1, and let's launch it. Whoa. Kind of like an air bomb firework, if we're being honest. I think these are definitely best used in dark places when you want to stun somebody with a bright flash, not launching them into the literal sun. I don't think you're going to be able to see them very well that way. So distance is going to be about 100 yards on this thing, and you can definitely charge it if you hand load it to go a little bit farther. And now that brings us to the detonator round. This isn't the one that has no tactical uses. That one's going to come after this. This one is pretty interesting. The idea is it just makes the biggest boom possible, less of a bright flash and just more of an absolute shock. Now, of course, before we actually shoot this thing, we're going to want a word from our sponsor. You see, HSL Ammunition does affordable 1,000-round packs of 9mm, and if you use code SHIP9, it ships for free. And apparently a lot of you guys are using it, and they're very concerned for their financial situation. But they still let me have the code, so go use it. And 945 Industries, who makes this awesome off-body carry bag that has a simple pull tab to allow you to access your firearm very quickly. So if you're not carrying on your waist, this thing is going to do the trick. I did the math. I've been using this thing for over a year, and you can use code BAG10 for 10% off at 945 Industries. Again, that's code BAG10 at 945 Industries. And now let's get back to the video. All right, now let's fire this. And something you guys might have noticed when I was shooting these, they have almost no recoil, which is awesome. We're going to cock that hammer and flip this camera around so you can see what this detonator round does in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that is much more of a boom. The smoke cloud downrange is actually pretty massive, and this thing is smoking too. That looks so satisfying. And there the smoke comes pouring out. Now that's what it looks like when you're firing one of these things, but what does it look like when you get hit close by one? Well, let's take this camera downrange, set you guys up, and you're gonna find out. Hopefully I can launch it accurately in this area, and then after that we'll do our lethality test. That one had way more energy than even the Flashbang. So I think this one's my favorite so far, but we haven't shot that silver no tactical use one just yet. So for our energy test, I want to hit some water jugs with this to see how much energy they impart. I'm wondering if they're gonna hit like a less lethal round, or if they're totally gonna explode the water jug into a bajillion pieces and be way lethal if they were to impact you directly. We're gonna find out. We've got our table of science and a gallon of water. I think the hardest part's gonna be actually hitting this thing. But I think when we do, we're gonna get a bit of a splash. I'm just afraid it's gonna bounce back at us, so we're gonna scoot back, which is just gonna make us even more inaccurate. 3, 2, 1, firing. Now it totally ricocheted off that and detonated in that puddle over there like a scene from Saving Private Ryan. That looked very cinematic. But yeah, I would say that this is gonna be extremely painful, but it didn't punch through. I would say not deadly, just painful. And it's not gonna stick inside of you either. It's gonna bounce off and explode somewhere else, which is good news if you're getting hit by one of these things. Now that our energy test is out of the way, let me show you this last round that is the tactical nightmare, the one with the silver sticker. Again, I don't think you would want to use this in any tactical situation whatsoever, but you guys take a look at what this does and tell me if you can think of a tactical situation for this thing. This is a Comet starburst round, aka I'm pretty sure it's just a 4th of July firework which was loaded into one of these shells for wildlife management, and I'm here for it. I really like that. So let's fire it, see what it does. You guys are gonna get a first-hand look. 3, 2, 1. That is very excessive. So which of these 4 civilian legal grenades was your favorite?